All right, welcome to Advocacy in Motion, the Red River edition. We are here at Podcast on Main Street, Split Window Studios in downtown Denison to give a vision and a voice to nonprofit organizations making an impact in this area. And before I introduce my guest today, I want to thank our presenting sponsor, Niagara Conservation. Niagara is the nation's leading manufacturer and distributor of water-saving, cost-saving plumbing products. Niagara has provided these money-saving products to so many nonprofit affordable housing units and has also allowed us to share the stories of over 50 nonprofit organizations in the DFW and in the North Texas area. So thank you again, Niagara Conservation. My guest today is Marilyn Bice. She is the director of Rebas Ranch House here in Denison. And welcome, Marilyn. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tommy. We really appreciate you giving us the opportunity to share our story and try to get the word out so that we can help more people. It's always hard. It seems like everything changes so quickly and you think you're doing a good job and then you have someone staying in a car while their loved one is in the hospital because they don't know about us.
Well, we hope we can help get that word out. We want people to realize what you guys are doing. Tell us a little bit about the background of Rebas Ranch House and how it got started and Rebas' involvement in that.
Well, the ranch house actually came into fruition in 1986 when Dr. Darius Madge, who was Rebas' doctor, and Gertie Gary, who was executive director of the foundation at the hospital, and they worked together, and they knew they needed to raise funds, and they came up with the idea of asking Reba if she would be willing to come and do a concert to help these people in need who needed ways for their medical expenses. So Dr. Madge talked to Reba, and it was quite a story from all of the things that I have heard. I was not there. But they invited her to do a show, and she did. It was at Denison High School, and they got that done in 1987. That was her very first concert to help raise funds. And that ended up being a 25-year legacy of Memorial Day weekend events that helped raise money that we used to build the first house and to run the house. So it's rather interesting to think how long ago that was and how many people we have helped. But the first concert was 1987, and the doors of Rebas Ranch House opened in 1992. And those events were followed by the legacy that I was talking about of all of the things you've heard about, the golf tournaments. I think they had tennis tournaments. They had big shows, and Reba brought in all of her staff and all of her engineers, everything. I think they talked about one of the big shows that they had out at the airport later. There were 19 long-haul trucks of equipment that came, and that involves a lot of people. But she has always been one who is so loving and works so hard to give to other people. Anyway, in September of 1992, Reba cut the ribbon and opened the Rebas Ranch House. In 2007, the ranch house became the project of Texoma Health Foundation. And when that happened, there was a need to move the house and have it closer because at that point we began serving all of the hospitals in the area. So we were given land by Tom Johnson and his family over behind on Pool Road, and they created a street called Reba Drive. and the new house opened its doors in 2010. So it is, our current house was built on land that was donated to us. All the furnishings that were in the house were donated to us. All of the appliances, everything. And that was a very unusual feat to be able to get that done. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. And it took a lot of people. And there were many committees who worked to get all of this done. But the new house where I am has 12 rooms. Each room has 2 queen-size beds, television. We have free internet and free Wi-Fi, so that if someone is there and they need to do some work, it's easy for them to sit there and do it. We have a library, and in that library we have it set where they can close the doors if they need to visit with someone about their loved one or have other family members come in and they need a place to meet. It's open for them. I think it's used more for people who need to work. It's set up with a table, and again, of course, the free Wi-Fi is there, and that's very important for them to be able to do this.
Now tell us where the house is, the location.
The location is 5036 Rebas Drive.
And that's close to the regional hospital here, correct?
It is close to TMC.
Okay.
We're about 5 miles, I think, from Wilson Jones. We are less than 5 miles to Scott and White. And then, pardon me, we serve all the hospitals here. We have served the VA hospital in Bonham. That's in one of the counties that we serve. And Fannin County, Marshall County, and Durant, and Carter County. All of those, the 4 counties that the foundation serves, they could come and stay here and we've had people that did that.
Now this is for families who have loved ones, relatives that are hospitalized, correct? Am I correct on that?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, they have to be traveling through, and we've served, maybe this is a little better picture, we've served 44 states and 8 countries through the years. So that tells you, if you have a parent living here and they're in a nursing home or they do not have room in their place where they live to have anyone there, then those people come and stay with us.
Okay, very good.
We also now are such a much broader range health center in Denison and in Sherman. It's unreal, and I know that that's just going to grow. But because of that, we have people here for so many different reasons, and so they can come and stay. They ask their nurse or the doctor, some of the doctors work with us, and they know that they're going to be doing surgery on these people, and they come from all the way north of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, and they will call and get everything set up for their patient families to be able to come over. The patient comes in the night before, then they go to the hospital the next morning, and the family stays in the ranch house.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your background. What drew you to Rebas Ranch House and your background and how you got involved? 'Cause I know you seem so. I know you're passionate. You know about it, and I can tell real caring there. How did you get involved in this?
Well, I was with Austin College and on staff there for 25 years, and while I was there, I worked for 11 years with the Posey Leadership Institute. Part of my position served the students and helping them find mentors in the local area so that they could actually find out about the area. We encouraged them to do internships in a field that was not necessarily what they wanted to do with their life, just so that they could have a broader range of education. So I worked with Michelle Lemming, who's the CEO of the foundation, and with many students. She mentored different students, and then she and the foundation and the college put on a health fair one year, and I worked very closely with her through all of that. And I got to know her very well. I really admired and respected the way that she handled everything with the students, which at that point, the students were my number one, I guess, at the top of my list to take care of and make sure that everything was going well. Anyway, she was one of the people that got me involved, and whenever this position came open, the former director was there 19 and a half years, and when she retired, I came and applied for this position. So and now I've been there 12 years, so I love that.
Very good. You've seen changes over the years, both from the beginning and since you've been there. What's the biggest change, or what's some most success that you've seen over the growth here of the ranch house?
Well, I think maybe the biggest is that we received a donation to start a playground for the families who stayed with us, for their children, because it's very important that children be included in what's going on. And so many times it's hard for them. They don't understand what's going on, and parents don't take the time to talk to them. And this causes problems for them. But if the child plays outside for 10 minutes and runs and has a creative opportunity, they can get everything out of their little minds that bothers them. And it makes a huge difference. They don't have things that stay with them for the rest of their lives and really, disturb them. Children have a tendency to think that it's their fault whenever you don't talk to them.
True.
So this gave them the opportunity to go outside. The playground was designed by a group from Rebas Thoughts, and so everything there is musical instruments, and they all work. And it is a beautiful facility and has the rubber so that the kids, when they fall, they don't hurt themselves. And I think that made a huge difference. It's known as the Granny and Doc Playground.
Very good. I like that.
Yes. And it was for Dr. Dennison and his wife. And they were kind of pioneers in the medical field when they moved here. So it's a great story. That plus changes in, I think all of the medical world have changed since COVID, because now hospitals do not allow so many visitors. So it makes a difference how the patient does, and they're not there as long as they used to be. And I think those are the biggest changes that I've noticed. The crown is the fact that we have become a super medical facility area. And I think that says a lot for all of the people who work so hard and all of the doctors who work to do the best that they can and how many people they serve, because we serve all of South Oklahoma, the southern Oklahoma area. We instituted working with the NICU, which is the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit for babies. And whenever we did that, we've had the opportunity for babies to be sent here from the University of Oklahoma Medical School in their NICU. And the parents don't have to stay so far away from home. They can come and stay here and have with the baby once the baby has gotten to a certain age. And the babies, I think the longest that we've had a baby was 107 days. But there's no way that a young family can pay for a hotel room for 107 nights, right, much less 4 or 5. It's just literally impossible to do. And I think that's why now I think it's 80 to 83% of all bankruptcies are caused by medical experience.
I can understand that. Tell us who is eligible to stay there. I know, you have the facilities, but the need out there is so great. Now, who can stay there, and what's the
Once
criteria?
we receive the information on people who want the room, we run background checks. And then once we do that, if they pass the background check and they do not live in Sherman or Denison, right, in the area, then they are eligible to stay at the ranch house. Mm-hmm. So, it can be closer than you might think. And yet it's not for someone who lives here, because if you live here, you're going to want to be at home.
Right.
When you're going through trauma like that, you need to be at home because that's the best place for you. Now, with NICU and new parents, they need to be as close as they can be because they need to be with the baby as much as possible.
Right. I understand. What about volunteers or employees or something? How can somebody come and help? How do you work with that?
We currently do not have any openings for volunteers individually. Everything is filled, and we are very blessed with wonderful volunteers and very thankful to have them. But we do need service groups, high school student groups, church groups. We need them to come and do specialty things once or twice a year. And they can call the office and ask for Mitch, and he can get all of that set up. He takes care of all of those events that are going on. So that helps. We operate on donations. We do not charge for anything at the ranch house. So we need all the help we can get. So if you are going to the grocery store and you're buying paper towels and napkins, tissues, anything, pick up an extra box and bring them to us. Or send them to us, however you would like to do it, anything that would be good for you. Because whatever you use at home, we use at the ranch house. We have churches and clubs who bring food in, and we have, I think it's 5 dinners or lunches a week, which is wonderful for the people, because if you don't have to pay for a room and you don't have to pay for food, you can make it.
We'll come back to this many times, but tell us how people can get in touch. A website, a phone, how they can get information. How can we get in touch?
Okay, rebasranchhouse.org is our website. Okay. And if you go on the website, you can see pictures of everything that I've told you about. You can find out more And we invite you to go and do. You can make donations online. And again, we need donations to operate.
Obviously, every nonprofit does.
Yes,
That's the whole,
yes.
That's what keeps them going.
That makes
We do
all the
encourage
difference
people
in the
to
world.
get involved. Yeah, very much so. Do you have any events coming up or programs or something that people can get involved in? Or
We don't
fundraisers?
we don't do fundraisers. We do donations, but we don't do fundraisers. And inside the ranch house, we have a room called the Room for Hope. And this was set up by a young woman who was working on her gold star, award through Girl Scouts. And she came up with an idea of having different products that would help people with cancer. And in the beginning, it was just breast cancer because that was the way that she set it up. We now cover all cancers. But we have over 300 wigs. Everything in this room is free. We have a lot of different pillows, blankets, different things that people have donated. So all of this is available. We have a cancer survivor volunteer who meets with whomever wants an appointment and helps them in any way they can. So if you call the main number, which is 903-463-7322, and tell them that you want to set up an appointment, we'll get that done for you. And then they can come and just see what we have and talk to us. We'll try to help them any way we can.
I've been on your website. It's a wonderful website. There's a lot of information there. I know these contact numbers are there as well. So I encourage anybody, if you don't remember the numbers we're talking about now, you can always go to the website and get all this wonderful information.
And you can Google rebasranchhouse.org.
I think that's how I found it.
You can get a lot of information that way. But we love talking about what we do. We love talking about how we need, what we're working on that time. And this past 2 years, we have had, a new roof. We've had many landscape problems because of the heat and lost trees and shrubs, etc. So just like your own home, we have the same needs. And we would love for anyone to call and say that they would like to help with this.
I know this area, Sherman, Denison, Pottsboro, is growing so rapidly. People are coming in. There's a lot of new developments. And we just want people to know that you're there, especially if they're new in town, and what they can do and how they can help. Tell me if I've missed anything. We've talked about several things, but is there anything that I've missed that you'd like for people to know?
I think that we've pretty well covered everything. Again, I will say it cost us $125 a day per room to keep the house open. So we definitely need donations and would love to have anything. And if you want to call and see if we need this or that or how you think you might help, we would love to talk to you. That would be great.
I really like the idea if you're doing your average shopping, your grocery shopping or whatever, pick up an extra thing or two and drop it off. I think that's a wonderful way to help, and everybody could get involved in some way. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your story, and we're going to share it with the communities through our social media posts, and hopefully we can help in just a small bit to have some people come and help you.
Well, we sincerely appreciate you and appreciate what you're doing with your podcast and wish you well. And we have wonderful nonprofits in this area, and I know they would all love to tell their stories.
Well, we're trying to get to as many of them, And as we say that, I want to thank again our sponsor, Niagara. We mentioned their water-saving plumbing products, but they're also an innovator in bathroom experiences and personal hygiene with their new Hydrotech bidet seat, now available at Amazon. So thank you again, Niagara, for your support, and thank you, Marilyn, for joining us.
Thank you.
All right.